Hey, everybody. Let's take a look at government and the economy with a little low-key true-false activity. All right, so we'll just go through this. A little true or false. Do your best. The United States has a mixed economy. True or false? If you pick true, you are correct. Congratulations. U.S. government makes many kinds of rules that affect how companies do business. In a mixed economy, the government does not interfere with business. That's false. In a mixed economy, government owns property, offers services, makes rules to protect competition and consumers. That's why it's called mixed. In a command economy, the government owns all the services. That's true. Government controls how businesses operate. There's really not a command economy, pure command economy left on Earth. I suppose North Korea, you can make the case for China. Without antitrust laws, there would be less competition between businesses. True or false? If you recall from your textbook, antitrust laws keep businesses from teaming up together to control prices. True. There'd be way less competition. They would just collude. Monopolies, right? Like the game Monopoly. Without antitrust laws, there would be more small companies. So if an antitrust law was taken away, the way they have been recently, theoretically, there ought to be more small companies out there. False. Okay. They prevent large companies from gobbling up the little ones. Without them, there would be fewer to no small companies, just great big companies. The first antitrust law was passed in 1914. Kind of a silly question, worrying about years like that. It's false. Okay. 1890. This is the beginning of the progressive era, as you remember from U.S. history. The progressives sought to change problems in society, and they saw government as a solution because government could be big enough to take on and beat big business, since the government theoretically makes the rules. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, doesn't care whether companies merge together. Think you see where this one's going? False. They care very much about these mergers to prevent monopolies, which would harm competition and harm consumers. The more companies merge together, the more competition there is. Again, this should be pretty clear. False. If companies merge together into one giant conglomeration, there's no competition because there's one company. A tariff is a tax on goods from other countries. True or false? It's true. Tariffs are placed on goods from a foreign country to make it harder, to make it more of an even ground for competition between domestic companies and overseas companies and foreign countries. You know, other countries might have different rules on pollution and the environment. So a company could produce items over there and pollute all they want and then sell it in the United States, where an American company would have to follow rules and regulations and pay their workers on a different scale. Tariffs, when best used, are used to level that playing field. A tariff makes a foreign product less expensive in the United States. I think you can see this one pretty fast. That's false all day. It'll make foreign stuff more expensive. Helps for you at competition against unfair low prices, unless it's an American company, perhaps that's assembling things made out of foreign parts. Then that American company is paying more for the parts they need to put their goods together. Without tariffs, goods flow more freely between countries. So is a tariff a barrier to trade? All day long, tariffs are barriers to trade. busiest land border, most economically crucial land border in the world is the U.S.-Mexico border. An amazing amount of material passes across that every day. That's why it's so important that we have good relations, economic relations with Mexico and Canada, our closest neighbors. The government protects competition by letting companies do whatever they want. No. Yeah, just no. They wouldn't put consumers' health at risk, right? The products you can buy should be safe because they've had to meet certain standards. Okay. What's involved in a mixed economy? For some reason, when this converted from PDF, it makes the arrow go the wrong direction. All right, so here we go. We got a graphic organizer. And what this is going to do, this is going to place these items into the right spot. All right, where does each card belong? The government provides free information to help consumers learn how to be healthy and safe. Dietary guidelines and nutrition information can be found on nutrition.gov. On foodsafety.gov, you can learn how to handle food safely so you won't get sick, and also find out about food recalls and other health alerts. You always find about lettuce. If food lettuce, that's an E. coli outbreak. That's because what was being used to fertilize the field in that big old gigantic farm has poop, and it's E. coli that's on the food, and it's a bad deal. It will kill you. It can kill you. All right. That would educate consumers. Okay, so you can see this activity is going. Boom. The Department of Commerce found that fresh garlic from China was being sold in the United States for less than fair market value. What? Vampires were most upset. This harmed garlic growers in the United States who could not afford to sell garlic that cheaply. The government had added a tax to fresh garlic from China to make it more expensive. Where would this go? Okay, this would be, I would say, protecting U.S. economies. There it is. In 2009, the FTC went after the Kellogg Company for ads that contained false information, lying. Kellogg's, I thought it was just cereal. It said that its frosted mini wheats were clinically shown to improve kids' attentiveness by nearly 20%. Kellogg agreed not to run untruthful ads in the future. Okay, so this would be, where would this one go? Make your best guess. Yeah, stops false advertising. You can't lie in your advertisement, right? When Kellogg says Frosted Flakes are great, they really are. So that's no lie. I like Frosted Mini Wheats too. If I didn't make my own cereal, I would eat that. The government is concerned about the problems caused by a poor diet. That's debatable. That's why the government's nutrition assistance program helps people with low incomes buy healthy food. People can apply online to receive multi benefits they can use at the grocery store to buy food to prepare at home. All right, so how does this program, where does this fit onto this? You got it right. It helps those in need. Interesting thing with that is you might have heard the term government cheese. There's so much cheese in the United States because the U.S. Subsidizes dairy farmers. The U.S. gives money back to dairy farmers and takes some of their cheese, buys the cheese from them, and they can keep being farmers and keep having their cows and making cheese. And the U.S. has this enormous surplus of cheese. You just can't give the stuff away. In 2009, the FTC went to court to stop grocery store Whole Foods from buying the Wild Oats food chain. The FTC said it would create a natural foods monopoly. To settle the case, Whole Foods agreed to sell 13 of the Wild Oats stores to someone else. That preserves some competition. I think there's a Wild Oats in Encinitas. And this Whole Foods is all over the place. Although the one, ironically enough, in Encinitas did close. Okay, so what is this? This is going to be regulating monopolies, regulators. Okay, the natural food store regulation. Government agencies like the Food and Drug Administration and the Department of Agriculture enforce food safety laws. They conduct inspections, make sure food producers are meeting safety standards. They also inspect foods that come from other countries to make sure it's safe to eat. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, if you remember from U.S. history, that was Upton Sinclair and the Jungle investigating the meat industry in Chicago. Famous muckraking journalist went undercover and investigated this. He actually wrote that as talk about the people and how these immigrant workers and black workers, black Americans working in the stockyards and the meatpacking facilities were abused. And no one actually ended up caring that much about the people, but they cared a lot that there was disgusting stuff in their food. And so that came, the FDA sprung out of that. Let's see. So what would that be? That'd be, keeping food safe. In 2012, the former owner of a major tomato paste company confessed to a crime. He admitted he got other tomato paste companies to agree they would sell all tomato paste at the same price. The U.S. Department of Justice prosecuted the tomato paste price fixers in federal criminal court. This is the Department of Justice protecting consumers, right? Stopping price fixing. You can't fix prices. We need tomato sauce. There you go. All in the box. It's just a little activity. I hope this kind of gave you like a bit of a taste of what the government does in terms of the economy and how the government is very much involved in the economy of the United States.